It's November the 24th.
No, I'm not a writer.
2016. We are on the ball after the major earthquake in Japan. Anybody don't know who I am? I'm Dana, your host at the Nuclear Proctologist.org, and we are joined by many that are worried and concerned that Dana didn't plug it in. Hang on. I got it. This out. I can do shit. I could have launched all the space shuttles 20, 30 years ago. I'm friggin' that good with this shit at this stage, okay? Hello, everybody. Good morning, everyone. Okay, we tried. That comment is actually a terrible morning. Today is the day when we expect the radiation from Japan. Excuse the bumping and banging and popping and whopping. And hello, everybody. Good mornings. Okay, I gotta take that one back already. Here we go. Just wind her down. What we got is a 7.6, was a 7.9, a 7 point this, a 7 point that. And everybody focused on the Doiny power plant. What you're looking at below is a model the Canadians made in Canada. Evidence of sharp features. You can look it up and find it. Everything I'm showing you is public. Everything I'm showing you is sourced. Everything we talk about is vetted. And then what we're talking about was a couple of days back, we had a little high. A couple of days back, we had an earthquake. Now, models from previous earthquakes, I'm going to pop them up for everybody. The models from these previous earthquakes, I smurfed that up. Oh, okay, I fix it. The models from those this is a Canadian model. Evidence of sharp features from the Fukushima Plume. Now, the reason that happens is because North America is right across from Japan. It's right across from Japan. And so the model right about now is where, and this is based upon a little tiny release in 2011 over 40 days. You can see the countdown on the 20th, 21st. So 10 days, 11 days later, 12, 13. It goes all the way to 40 days. Now, the interesting thing about that model is it's not based upon the inventories. It's not based upon that reactor over there that should look like the reactor behind me in comparison. That's Unit 3. This was 2 million times worse. But nothing in the model you just looked at had anything to do with Unit 3. Once again, Unit 3. But it wasn't just Unit 3, it was Unit 4 also. That wasn't in the model. And each of these buildings and fuel pools are located up high in the buildings. But all the media come out and showed you the beautiful fuel pool behind me, but the actual picture of the reactors are over there. So if it looked like the one over there, what was the big concern? Well, it blew up and destroyed. See? We're worried about these reactors collapsing. We're not worried about the fake one that they're showing you, because we're not gullible. Now, we're worried because they didn't talk about these reactors and were they stable. They claim, now no one can go in and stabilize the reactor up here. You can't do it. Let's keep moving. Seth Dorn claims he's inside of a building that don't exist. This is why you should listen to what I'm going to tell you today or any other day, why it's so important, why I'm forced to show you all of this and become better every day, because I'm attacked and I'm not wrong. I'm not making a mistake. I'm not trying to deceive or manipulate or misrepresent anything. And so I have to dig up all the information, find a better way to tell the story to make sure nobody that is willing to give me an opportunity can say, hey, you know, Dana's actually provided us with more documentation and data in a single video than they could find in 6 years on their own. Name someone out there who got all of that on their computer without running across me. Oh, can't be done, right? Okay, let's keep going. So the Plumes. This is a model based upon a single release. It wasn't based upon those damaged buildings. We're worried about those damaged buildings collapsing and doing this again for the last 6 years, all day, every day, 365 days a year, 1,440 minutes a day. We're worried, sick. And so they had a massive friggin' earthquake. Now the plume comes over. Imagine this plume you're looking at is actually just a forest fire, but it's not. It's Fukushima. But imagine it's not forest fire. Imagine it's automobile pollution. We know that comes over and forest fire comes over. They're much bigger. Imagine someone over in Japan farted, and at least one of those, everybody in Japan farted at one time, and at least 3 of those atoms, and there was a couple of billion atoms, trillion atoms come out in the farts or whatever. And then that's the model, if you like. And the farts were radioactive because they were breeding radiation the whole time. Okay, Dane, get back on track. Oops. We're talking about where I'm trying to tell you to keep your pets indoors after talking about farts. Because it's so absurd for you not to understand, not to be able to appreciate the very basis that is not in the model you just looked at. That building with 6 reactor cores up in a pool, and that pool is not in the building, so there's 6 reactors, not 1. That means 12 reactors, not 1. That means 18 reactors are gone, not 1. That means 24 reactors are gone, minimum, because he changed the fuel and kept it in the top of a building. Let's bring up a model. For some reason, I can't, because I'm in a different one. So just 1 second. Think about the building over there collapsing during the earthquake. Think about that building here collapsing during an earthquake. Which one do you think is going to collapse? The one over Dar or the one up here? Huh? What one? Specifically. The fuel pools are in the top of the building. This is a front cut out of the building. This is what they claim is Unit 2, but all 4 of those reactors are the same. And Unit 2 is the one I'm showing you in the model behind me, is this actual, which is the same as Unit 3 and the same as Unit 4. Is the same model. Okay, hang on. Got to do everything. It's better to go up and say, look, the fuel pool is right here. Oh, Jesus. Now what have I got done? Oh, my God. Hang on. Fuel pool is right here. I think we need a bit of music for this. Hang on. Fill up the fuel pool. I'm filling up the fuel pool. It's okay, everybody. Don't worry. Wait now. This is the reactor. That's the Okay, now. Are we on the same page yet or what? Stop yelling. There you go. The fuel pool is filled up. It's filled up. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. TEPCO will send me a big check in the mail because I filled it up. And the homeless didn't have to go in there. The homeless didn't have to go. They didn't have to do it. Dana, turn the music down. I'm doing it. Okay. Let's go back to the crazies. Think about it. We're worried about the building over there collapsing. We already know Unit 2 is on the interior is completely gone. They shot the murons through it. See the murons behind me? Yeah, here he was, gone. Okay, now we're on the same page. Let's talk about the fallout because we think that they're lying to us and that the fuel pool is not in the building and we're worried that building is going to fall. We're not worried about the Doiny. We are. We're worried about all the plants. Look, we're worried about all the plants after the tsunami right away along the coastline because we know. It's a good thing I'm not launching the shuttle today is all I got to say. We know what happens and what happened. We're not going to live in denial because the nuclear industry is trying to make a buck and keep their pensions. But we know that after 38 hours, the reactor cores would heat up 50 degrees Celsius each hour. Japan Times took this version down, and so did Machini shortly after they put it up. But it's true, they never redacted it. They took it off the web. 2,200 degrees Celsius in about 38 hours. Every hour is 50 degrees. And think about how the Plume actually works, right? Nuclear industry tried to bury the truth like they'd done a couple of days ago and directed everybody over to Doiny, right? Why Doiny? Right? Because they didn't want you to think about those destroyed buildings and the fact they lied to you and told you that are both official pictures is what you should worry about. So the forecast, it never stopped coming out of Fukushima was the problem. So the models, like from the Norwegian Institute for Mirror Research, are what you got to consider for each release when their models are only based upon, that 20 million particles is only based upon a single release from Unit 2. It's not based upon the releases from the destroyed reactors. Think about that for a second. See, that is not inside of the building on the right-hand side. No matter how you try to flip that, it doesn't work that way. They blew up. No one's disputing that. We're disputing that is actually, so that both of these are all official pictures. Right? They got an unbelievable history and post and present and future history of just lying about every aspect of it and directing you away, saying, oh, it's fine. But when you compare the pictures, they don't do that. They don't show you those two pictures when they show you the fuel pool by itself. Because you might look for other pictures and say, hey, not sure I can buy into that. If you're sitting home and the media said, yeah, they got the fuel out of the pool on the left, it's in the one on the right, would you be scratching your head or turning the TV off? Or would you be laughing or crying or what? Dina. Let's keep going. So 20 million Becquerel comparisons, you would have evacuated a nuclear site or community if it had that. Yeah, it was falling out of the sky. Just rainfall by a liter. Oh, we got a liter of rain here in New York. The tunnels down below can probably not handle that much at the one time, But we'll send down a work crew and clear out any debris. No, because it rains. Okay, and so 20 million particles of radioactive iodine. This is why you want to keep your pets and your children and yourself. Keep your doors closed, at least that much. Keep your windows closed, at least do that much. If you're driving, keep your windows closed. Have disposable clothing to wear for these times. Throw it away. Don't keep it in your house. Put it in a garbage bag. Bring it out. Get it out of your house and get rid of it for the next week. Go out to the Salvation Armies and those secondhand places. Buy a bunch of clothing. Go home, iron it, and wear it and get rid of it. Dirt cheap. But when you have these releases, that's the only thing you could do, see? If you got rainwater, get rid of it. Don't let your pets, keep your pets close. Let them go pee, poop, get them back inside. For the next week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, the stuff will hover close to the ground long after. I got to fix that. Hang on. Boom. Dina. Yoink. This camera's driving me crazy, eh? The other one done the same thing to me. Oops. Okay. Back on track. Can't get my own way. Here we go. Maybe. Let's do that. Shortcut. Okay. So think about, and who was this? San Francisco Bay Area, post-Fukushima peak. There was 10 times more 132 ionizes and radiates your thyroid glands, 9 times more effective. The iodine 131 meant the chain reaction was ongoing. Period. The very first time they mentioned iodine 131, it meant that the reactors had melted down. That's what iodine 1 and are gone into a chain reaction. That's what a meltdown, whatever, right? Okay. So they lie to you nonstop. The iodine 131, there's 30 times more iodine 132 for every iodine 131 that was in that liter, but the reactors don't run on iodine, right? Yeah, reactors don't run on iodine, Dana. Okay, hang on. Let's do it that way after. Iodine, then there's 31 times more iodine 129 with a 15 million year half-life. It only emits a very tiny fraction, but that's where your DNA and your chromosomes are too, or your organs or your liver. And you bioaccumulate that. You can't get any more potassium in your body. That's natural. You can't get any more of the natural stuff in your body. You can only get this stuff. Every one of them, no matter how much, can sequester in your muscles, your organs, your bones. Oh, Jesus, where's iodine? You don't have a little search on this one. Yeah. No glasses. So iodines, all of these would have been in that liter at a ratio of, the iodine was 20 million, then there would have been 10 times 20 million of 132, 30 times iodine 131 and 133, and 31 times of iodine 129, and the rest of them. But at the same time, there would have been plutonium and americium, but the biggest product would have been curium. And curium acts exactly like plutonium, but plutonium, neptunium, americium type isotopes, all of these, the man-made ionizing ones, because they label them the same as nature, right, to confuse people. But they don't have Tyr's laws for nature. They don't have Tyr's laws for bananas or potato chips, blah, right? And so the plume that's coming in, this is why, and because they didn't bother talking about Daiichi, they talked about the Daini, and they should, but they never do. But all of a sudden they're talking about the Daini 10 miles away, because the earthquake, like the 2011, was 43 miles offshore, 18 miles deep. So the one they just had, many aftershocks right behind it in the same spot, was 6 miles down and 23 miles away. The buildings were rocking in Tokyo, but we shouldn't worry that the reactors are unstable. We shouldn't worry. We should just go along with what they're saying, pretend it's like that, not actually worry about the real issue, not worry about the fable, not pretend that those people died over there. Anywhere within 300 feet, you die. And the buildings are unstable. You can't get in there for thousands of years, but Seth Dord can fake it, okay? And the rest of them who done it at the same time can go ahead and fake it all they want. But that doesn't mean that the roof is... We're not gullible. We don't depend upon them for facts. We go source it out and look it up ourselves. And so 38 hours when all the coastline was like that, many of these buildings could have collapsed along there. They're in that zone. They're in the same zone. The reactors are. Where's that, Tom? Well, there they are. It's in the wrong spot. Okay, and so the other earthquake, the old one, was almost twice the distance away, and it was 3 times deeper. And so this one was much closer. These buildings are unstable. They're not like the 2 alleged pools below, yeah? Can we agree on that much? Can we agree the buildings deserve some attention instead of no attention? Because the Donny allegedly looks like this. The Diachi looks like that. But there's 4 of those reactors, and there's many along the coastline. So we have plumes from different countries, from different agencies, from Canada, right? From Canada. There's twice here, big ones from the Canadian government I showed you. No, Dana's not true. Dana is not true. They didn't tell us. Yeah, I got the headlines. I got the studies. Morons. Yeah, but Dana, they didn't come to my house, knock on my door, shake the shit out of me, yell at me, and tell me. I know. They should have, but no one told him. Hopefully. Fukushima start burning radioactive debris. That's going to come over no different. But these reactors have produced 30 million one-ton bags. You put a 1-ton truck bumper to bumper touching each other. There's 5 lanes of traffic around the planet. You stack them on top of each other. I can't remember the height. I'm not going to do the math right now, but 300 times more radiation released into the atmosphere from burning debris and claimed by the government. On top of that, these people are under control. They're at you all the time. They won't give it up. They're dirty bombs. There's dirty bombs around the clock. You got to worry about Al-Qaeda, Dana. Or ISIL. There's 10,000 of them, Dana. Taliban, 10,000. Hamas, 10,000. Boko Haram, 10,000. For 10,000 Taliban, we got millions missing, millions dead, millions unaccounted for, millions of orphans, 29,000 rapes a year in the military, 22 veterans committing suicide every day, 80,000 over the first 10 years. To get 10,000 bad guys, Taliban. You wreck country after country, Syria, Libya. Look at Syria, 7 million refugees. Every building destroyed. You get the same 10,000 Taliban. You done it in Libya. You done it in Yemen, Somalia, North America. You're groping 700 million people a year at the airports because of the same 10,000 Taliban. 22,000 drone strikes in India to get the same 10,000 Taliban. You're fucking idiots. You people are idiots. You're idiots. You're idiots in every sense of the word. You can't rationalize what happened to you. You can't make a fucking stand. Is government trying to contaminate everything on the planet? Because their automobile pollution comes over, the forest fires comes over, but not the fucking radiation, Dana. Jet streams are not friggin' real, Dana. 30 million bags, dummy. Absorbed radiation doses, 132, 10 times higher. Same thing everywhere else. It works the same way. 9 times more effective. Ionizing and radiating your thyroid gland, but everything else goes in your thyroid gland, particularly, which is just a tracer, a real bad one. And so is the cesium. They're bad tracers. But the Geiger counters can find it. 133, 30 times more, 133. 129 is 31 times more, 129. And it is not a huge emitter, but it's an emitter. And it sequesters, it's in your body for 15 million years. Emitter. Sequesters in there. It acts like part of your body. That's the problem with this stuff. That's why they label it. The same. But these are man-made. Most deadliest things known. This is why we have terrorist laws for dirty bombs. This is why we have nuclear holding sites. This is why we give them trillions of dollars. By March the 21st, now the model is only based upon one release from one reactor. Okay, I think I kind of made my point anyway. 133, 132. The cesium-134 is an interesting one because they always say, oh, that's the one we're worried about. That's the signature. How can you find anything when you already got 1 million becquerels a square meter? How would you know there's another one there? Yeah? So what you got to do is you got to look at the evidence, know that it came through, know they lied, know the buildings were unstable, know how much has already come out of there, understand the fable. So they lie to you constantly in every shape and every form. And so if it's 129, that's what it's doing in your body. It might not emit any further than itself within, millimeters. But you can get hundreds of millions of them in your body. And they destroy your DNA and your chromosome in increments over a decade. And you end up with one of the 1,800 diseases, illnesses, autoimmune deficiencies that'll show up before the cancer. Okay. Here's another model. Here's Japan right there. It's going to go over. It's coming out, say, 3 days ago, the plume from the earthquake, shallow earthquake close to the coastline. Today, tonight, tomorrow, the next day, that plume's coming in. If there's a sustained chain reaction ongoing there, because the earthquake shook the shit out of everything and started a chain reaction catastrophe where everything fell on top of the chain reaction that was there. This plume was only based upon a couple of days' releases. So one of these plumes are coming through. They're always coming through. Period. But this was bad. This is the real deal. This is not some kind of, Dana, maybe. Dana's like a banana. That's all. Then you go ahead and live in that la-la land. But don't do that to your loved ones. Keep your doors closed. That's all you got to do. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Do you think I'm wrong? Do you think I like what I do? Do you think this is fun? Do you think coming out and telling this story is somehow I wanted to do this and talk about this? Tomorrow is Friday, skit day. Tomorrow will go easy. Tomorrow's all skits. I got about 15, 16 ready to go for tomorrow. Hugs for everybody. It's not me. It's not you. It's not us. It's everything is dependent upon us. We're it. We're the final pushback. We gotta set the bar high for future movements to come in and be able to be efficient and effective and at that stage, we can have hopes and dreams again. But until then, we are at war with this creature, this maniacal, demented, out of control soulless, spineless, heartless, remorseless group of people that work for the nuclear industry and bow and lick their boots. We are not those people. We will never be those people. We're incapable of licking anybody's boots. You will lick our boots. I can assure you. Might not be me. We started it. We started it here. Thanks for everybody.